Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Kim Buttram. I'm the Assistant Director of Economic Development. It's my pleasure to bring you our first quarter report. Let's make sure it's up on the screen. There it is. All right. This report reflects statistics from January, February, and March, the first quarter, but activities and announcements to date. The photo on the front page is from the new building going up at I-30 near Buckner Boulevard. It's a 250,000 square foot industrial building, and that is one of the tilt walls being put into place, and this is a rendering of what it will look like once complete. Media highlights. We had two really great media coverage stories the first half of this year. WFAA Channel 8 did a feature story on the new MISD School of Choice and interviewed Dr. Vroonland. And this school will be such an asset for business development, providing a robust workforce pipeline here in Mesquite. So we are working with ISD to make sure that our companies are engaged with the planning of that facility. The Dallas Morning News announced the $71 million industrial park on Interstate 30 that the zoning was approved at the last council meeting. That has created quite a lot of buzz. Action at a glance. The top left shows you the different trade shows and networking events that our staff has attended so far this year. We have been to the International Council of Shopping Centers show twice. There was one in January for the Red River States, and of course the global one in May called Recon, which is Real Estate Convention. So we did meet and network with many retailers and many of our shop owners and brokers. We've also sponsored North Texas Commercial Association of Realtors breakfast throughout the year, and we do attend those events, mix and mingle with our brokers and real estate professionals around DFW. And then David Witcher, our Director of Economic Development, has attended Biz Now, which is very targeted, specific market topics throughout the year. Meetings, tours, and projects for January through March. You can see our data there for meetings and calls, documents in progress, Chapter 380 agreements. On the right-hand side of the page, we have had a lot of activity there this year so far. Our Business Retention and Expansion Program 2019 planning has included the Dallas Metropolitan Small Business Development Center, the Small Business Administration, and the Dallas County Manufacturing Association. We've also participated in a meeting with the Federation of Advanced Manufacturing Association, known as FAME. It's a program that has started in Kentucky, and there are talks with the Workforce Solutions Greater Dallas and other partners to bring this program to the DFW area. We did attend a meeting there. We were there with Garland ISD, Dallas ISD, Dallas County Community College District, and of course the other surrounding cities to discuss the possibilities of this FAME program. So we'll have more details later as that unfolds. The results of these collaborations are, we have several upcoming events. The E-Series Small Business Workshops is in cooperation with Small Business Development Center and the SBA. And then we have this Strengthen Your Workforce event, which was held at Elements International. This was our first corporate event to be held at someone's actual location. So we started that as a new way of getting the industrial people to get to know their neighbors and have basically an open house. And what we hoped to achieve with this one as well was to inspire some of the older facility managers to update and start changing their culture in the way that Elements International has shown that it can be done, to marry the corporate headquarters with the warehouse distribution in a real modern facility. So that had about 40 attendees. We already have a confirmation for our next location. We do not have a date yet, but it will be held at Pepsi. We did a business survey this first half of this year as well. We sent out 165 emails from our email database. We did have a 26% response rate. The survey closed on June 7th, so we'll be bringing you the results of that survey at a future council presentation. Another successful event that we had as a result of all these partnerships was called The Dish, and that was held in May. It was a restaurant and hospitality event where we partnered with the Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Chamber of Commerce and, of course, our BRE partners. Texas Restaurant Association and TripAdvisor were the speakers, and we had 50 attendees, and about half of those were restaurants. So we've gotten a good start this year with our restaurant networking, and Bubba's 33 has agreed to host the next one. One other thing I need to mention before we leave this page is this October we will be having a manufacturing day, and that will be a half day of workshops for companies and then a full day of tours where students from our schools will actually get to go into these companies and have tours of what it would be like to work at the companies. So that will be in October. Here's some pictures from the Elements International breakfast. That's Pepsi. As you can see, there's a lot of people in the room. We had new companies that had not attended any before that came out for the first time. This is in the Elements lobby. They have an artsy feel when you walk in. And they have meeting rooms with great names like Meeting of the Minds and the Bat Cave. It's really a cool facility, and they do have an on-site gym, and that is one of their employees who modeled for the pictures. In the area of job creation, in the first quarter, we had about 48 new jobs. It was a slower quarter, being January through March. Stage Door Dance opened. We had Elevate Healthcare and Bear Cave Coffee, which I'll talk about a little bit more about what they're up to here in a few minutes. We will see a heavier influx of new jobs next quarter with Ashley's move. In the area of retail vitality, that left-hand photo is from the site of Stallion. So right there with 635 and Town East in the background, it's a prime retail site. It was the talk of ICSC, so we anticipate seeing those 5 pad sites filling up rather quickly. In the area of our quarterly statistical update, nothing has really changed. We're still at about a 93% citywide retail occupancy rate. I did add a city this time to show you that Garland is at 95 as well as Dallas. And our average lease rate is about the same as Garland at 15 per square foot. However, in the Town East area, we're at about $19 average per square foot, and Town East Mall's still reporting strong at 97% occupancy rate. You can see a picture there in the lower left corner of one of their newer stores, James Avery. The Small Business Development Series that we talked about, this is the brochure. So in the area of small business development, we anticipate a crowd of about 20 emerging entrepreneurs and small business owners tomorrow evening. This is a 4-part series. You can see the dates on the screen, June, July, August, and October. And then we will have an awards presentation at our annual Entrepreneurs Day in November for the people who complete the courses. And these are being taught by the SBA and the SBDC. There's a fee of $35 for all 4 classes. It does include a meal. So we're just basically covering our costs and providing the services at no charge. In the area of shopping center revitalization, we've talked about this, that we have 26 centers identified. We do have 4 centers in active redevelopment planning. So they're either getting renderings put together or they're working with major tenants, anchors in the centers, but we are actively in discussions with 4 of them. We'll be bringing you some more information and proposed policies in the coming quarter. In the area of I-20 Trinity Point, you may have seen this announcement that in counties larger than 20,000 population, Kaufman County is rated as the 3rd fastest growing county in the country. We were telling everyone at ICSC that. And we did have some great conversations on the retail sites along I-20, particularly the Heartland Town Center area. So there is activity going on there, and you do see dirt turning out there now at Trailwind. One more thing on that page. We also have seen some new residential activity in the ETJ. So, all right, in the area of downtown redevelopment, we've had quite a bit happening. The advisory board and the economic vitality groups had formed a committee that identified transformational strategies for downtown, and they have agreed on those 3 strategies. State has been in for training of the boards and of staff and volunteers. Front Street Station plans are finalized. Of course, we had our First Lady Day on May 16th. The facade grant program is complete. It will go out tomorrow in a press release. At this time, we already have 6 folks in the queue to apply for that program. And an RFQ was released for the proposals on 117 West Main Street property redevelopment, and we have received 2. The RFQ has closed. And we have a nice video to show you and the public about the First Lady Day.
I think you may realize by now, this is a very historic day for our city.
Mesquite may once have been the best kept secret here in the heart of the Metroplex, but no more.
We celebrate Mesquite. We're going to be embracing our past, but you know what? We're also unveiling our future here in downtown Mesquite.
Our volunteers and city staff have worked on this for years now to begin this vision for a new downtown, a revitalized downtown, and then applied for Main Street designation, and now we start the first chapter.
And you know, it is my honor to work along the side of so many talented and hardworking people, both in the volunteer realm, in the business realm, in the property owner realm, and in the city staff and other partners. And there's so many partners that made this happen, and thank you to all.
You all should be very pleased and proud of what you've accomplished here and what you will be accomplishing. Please enjoy and celebrate the fruits of your labor. Keep doing great stuff, and thank you so much for letting us have a small part in this awesome day.
Families are growing here, businesses are growing here, jobs are growing here. And Mesquite now joins a close-knit select group of 90 other communities. Each represents the best of what our state has to offer.
We're here for a celebration. We're so proud of Mesquite. This is wonderful that you have decided to be a Main Street community. I said you decided because you have to give the energy to make this work.
The First Lady of Texas has had the privilege to visit newly designated Main Street communities and welcome them into our family. Each Main Street community is truly unique, but all are bound together by a commitment to using the Main Street approach as a roadmap to building better and stronger communities. It is now my privilege to present Mesquite Re-envisioned. The first rendering illustrates the rehabilitation of 4 buildings in the 200 block of West Main Street. These renderings show the big impact historic preservation can have on an entire town. Welcome to Main Street, and may God bless you, and may God bless your families. Thank you. This book I did dedicate to Mesquite, First Lady's Main Street Tour, May 16th, 2019.
We've seen several steps in the journey, and this is another step in our journey to make downtown the very best that it can be. We know that downtowns are valuable parts of our community. They're the thread that holds our communities together. They build connections between our community, our friends, and our family. We've seen the future, and the future is now. This great rendering that you've unveiled for us shows that we are dedicated, and we're going to have a revitalization of our downtown Mesquite. And it's happening now.
All right. And hats off to our marketing and communication department staff for putting that video together. That was done in-house right here in Mesquite. All right, in the area of economic data, we have some 2019 numbers and per council request. These are comparisons for quarter over quarter on these past years from 2016 to 2019. Our population has increased, our median income has increased, and residential permits first quarter compared to last year's and the years before is off the charts. That valuation is pushing 300,000, with total residential permits in the first quarter at $10 million. Continuing economic data, our unemployment rate has gone down even more to 3%. Everything else on the page is pretty much the same as our previous reports. Education attainment remaining flat at 27% degrees earned, but 52% with some higher education. Continuing with permits, remodels are still continuing strong, very large increase over 2016 and 2017. And new commercial construction, quarter over quarter, is lower than last year, but still coming in as a strong $10 million, largely due to the Prologis building on the cover. In the area of sales tax, it's pretty much as predicted by finance, the slight increase to $8.5 million in the first quarter. And certificates of occupancy came in at 61. New square footage at 302,000 is largely due to the Prologis building. A few notable permits on the right-hand margin. American National Bank is undergoing an $850,000 remodel of their bank on Military. And the MISD Professional Development Center, while it is tax exempt, I thought it was notable that it is a $13.4 million nice office complex that will be over adjacent to their current administration building. Several people have asked our office what is going up there. So on the next page, there we go. As far as marketing goes, we did enlist an ad agency to create a new campaign for us this year. These two ads are the first two in the new campaign. It's very small print, but the last sentence in both paragraphs says, "Business is heating up in Mesquite." So with that angle on these ads, we're playing on words such as fire and burning and really going with one striking image depending on the target market. The left-hand side is in the Go Big Go Texas Governor's Economic Development Guide, and there we're pushing advanced manufacturing, hoping to attract more attention in that area to Mesquite. And you will see there are a few companies listed in the copy. On the right, the North Texas Commission profile of DFW cities. We've highlighted one of our higher level manufacturing companies that does some chemical manufacturing, and we tell them that we know they have a desire for a bright workforce. So you'll see that this brand and this ad campaign continue throughout the rest of this year and into next year, very focused on target industries. And then lastly, our new website did go live on April the 19th, mesquiteecodev.com. We have sent a mailer out to 800 industry contacts, and this picture in the right-hand corner is the postcard that was sent out. And we've had closing in on 3,000 page views at the time that we pulled that number last week. And on the left, you'll see the new website is really a great conduit for us for giving information to our local business and our local entrepreneurs or small business candidates to find the information that they need about how to get engaged with our business retention and expansion program, and they can reserve their place at these events right there through our site. And with that, I'll open it up for any questions that you may have.
All right, thank you very much. Very good report. Any questions from Mr. Buttram at this time? All right.
I'll start with a comment,
Councilman.
Mayor. I want to say congratulations on a tremendous presentation. There's so much going on in our city right now, and that's a tremendous, tremendous representation of the work that y'all are doing. And I was excited to go to your real estate workshop that you had, and Mayor, you were there over at the Arts Center, and you could feel the excitement in the room about all these developments that are taking place already, especially getting ready on I-20, Ridge Ranch. They haven't even needed to build model homes, and they're selling homes out there. And so the market is just showing all kinds of signs of growth, and I just congratulate you. I just had to make that comment, but on all the activity going on.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you very
presentation.
much.
Thank you.
Councilman Archer.
Mayor, thank you. I echo that great work. The downtown event was just incredible. A great day for Mesquite, a historic day for Mesquite. I want to just say something on a more of a small scale, small business concept to think about that I'd like you all to be looking at as we go forward. And that is, our city manager and I were recently visiting with a family who was building infill on a vacant lot to build a new home there in an older neighborhood. And we're seeing that more and more all throughout our community. And some of these folks are flippers, investors, and some of them are families who just want to build their home across town or whatever. But it's a great benefit for our older neighborhoods. And oftentimes, some of those folks, they're learning some of the things that we require, the permit system, all the planning process, et cetera, things that sometimes the big builders kind of have down because they do that all the time. But I look at these folks as still being small business people, and they contribute greatly to our community because some are building multiple houses throughout neighborhoods in this community from scratch, next to other homes that are in need of work, et cetera. So I would just like us to be thinking about ways we can walk alongside those folks and partner with them, support them, and make them feel like they're a part of the business community as well, because they really are. So just something to think about, because you got nothing else to do, I know. So, but no, great work, keep it up, and Mesquite's open for business. It's awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Councilman O'Shea.
Thank you, Mayor, very much. And I really want to applaud you and David for all your hard work, the relationship building that you've been doing in the business community, the help that you've been providing and getting projects across the goal line. You've certainly made a difference. And one of the primary ways in which you've made a difference is if you look at the data that you shared with us tonight, one of the things that stayed relatively flat was the education level. Yet what you saw in the income was almost a 10% increase in income levels. And so what's really neat about what you're doing is that you're bringing higher paying jobs to the same folks here in the city of Mesquite. And that's significant. What else is significant is the home values that you're seeing. And so I think with those types of home values, we'll start to see the education level increase, and then we'll continue to see some of the wage numbers continue to climb. And so that's real exciting, and you guys are really doing a great job, and I know that that is one of the things that we charged you with as a department to help us with in those metrics, and I think you're delivering, so thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
Right. And I neglected to say Beverly's name, and I need to, because Beverly Abel is here tonight too from our department, our downtown manager, and she worked so hard on that First Ladies Day event, and we really appreciate marketing and communications putting that whole experience into that 5-minute video, so we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.